And here is the second story from the Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales, The Princess and the Bowling Ball. Once upon a time there was a prince, and this prince's dad and mom, the king and queen, somehow got it into their royal heads that no princess would be good enough for their boy unless she could feel a pea through 100 mattresses. So it should come as no surprise that the prince had a very hard time finding a princess. Every time he met a nice girl, his mom and dad would pile 100 mattresses on top of a pea and then invite her to sleep over. When the princess came down for breakfast, the queen would ask, "How did you sleep, dear?" The princess would politely say, "Fine, thank you." And the king would show her the door. Now this went on for 3 years, and of course nobody ever felt the pea under 100 mattresses. Then one day the prince met the girl of his dreams. He decided he better do something about it. That night, before the princess went to bed, the prince slipped his bowling ball under the 100 mattresses. When the princess came down for breakfast the next morning, the queen asked, "How did you sleep, dear?" "This might sound odd," said the princess, "but I think you need another mattress. I felt like I was sleeping on a lump as big as a bowling ball." The king and the queen were satisfied. The prince and the princess were married, and everyone lived happily, although maybe not completely honestly, ever after. The end. The really ugly duckling. Once upon a time, there was a mother duck and a father duck who had 7 baby ducklings. 6 of them were regular-looking ducklings. The 7th was a really ugly duckling. Everyone used to say, "Oh, what a nice-looking bunch of ducklings," all except that one. Boy, he's really ugly. The really ugly duckling heard these people, but he didn't care. He knew that one day he would probably grow up to be a swan and be bigger and look better than anything in the pond. Well, as it turned out, he was just a really ugly duckling, and he grew up to be just a really ugly duck. The end. But love yourself. Don't listen to what anybody else says. Your looks are your own. Love yourself. The Other Frog Prince. Once upon a time, there was a frog. One day, when he was sitting on his lily pad, he saw a beautiful princess sitting by the pond. He hopped in the water, swam over to her, and poked his head out of the weeds. "Pardon me, oh beautiful princess," he said in his most sad and pathetic voice. "I wonder if you could help me." The princess was about to jump up and run, but she felt sorry for the frog with his sad and pathetic voice. So she asked, "What can I do to help you, little frog?" "Well," said the frog, "I'm not really a frog, but a handsome prince who was turned into a frog by a wicked witch's spell, and the spell can only be broken by the kiss of a beautiful princess." The princess thought about this for a second, then lifted the frog from the pond and kissed him. "I was just kidding," said the frog. He jumped back into the pond, and the princess wiped the frog slime off her lips. The end. Little Red Running Shorts. "Okay, I've got things running smoothly now," said Jack the narrator. "And this next story's even better than the last 3. See, it's about this girl who runs very fast and always wears red running shorts. That's where her name comes from, get it? So anyway, this girl is running to her granny's house when she meets a wolf. He tricks her into taking the long way while he takes the shortcut. Now this is the good part, because the Red runs so fast that she beats the wolf to Granny's house. He knocks on the door, Red answers it, and guess what she says? 'My, what slow feet you have.' And that's it. The end. Is that great or what? So sit back, relax, and enjoy Little Red Running Shorts. And now, like I already said, Little Red Running Shorts." "You just told the whole story," said Little Red Running Shorts. "We're not going to tell it again." "You can't say that," says Jack. "You have to start with once upon a time." "No way," said the wolf. "You blew it." "But you guys are next. Look at the title at the top of the page. Little Red Running Shorts, that's you." "Let's go, Wolf." "We're out of here." "Wait, you can't do this. Your story's supposed to be 3 pages long. What do I do when we turn the page?" watered the wheat, I watered the wheat, I harvested the wheat. Now do I get to tell my story? Said the little red hen. Say, what's going on here? Why is that page blank? Is that my page? Where is that lazy dog? Where is that lazy cat? Where is that lazy mouse? How do they expect me to tell the whole story by myself? Where is that lazy narrator? Where is that lazy illustrator? Where is that lazy author? Jack's bean problem. Forget that hen. Now it's time for the best story in the whole book, my story. Because once upon a time, I traded our last cow for 3 magic beans and... Hey, Giant, what are you doing down here? You're wrecking my whole story.
I don't like that story,
said the giant.
You always trick me.
That's the best part, said Jack.
Fee, fi, fum, fory, I have made my own story.
Great rhyme, Giant, and I'm sure your story is just as good, but there's no room for it, so why don't you climb back up the beanstalk? I'll be up in a few minutes and steal your gold and your singing harp.
I'll grind your bones to make my bread.
I knew you'd understand, and there's another little thing that's been bugging me. Could you please stop talking in uppercase letters? It really messes up the page.
I will read my story now,
said the giant. And he did. Giant story. The end. Of the evil stepmother said, "I'll huff and snuff and give you 3 wishes." The beast changed into 7 dwarves, happily ever after, for a spell had been cast by the wicked witch. Once upon a time. That's your story? Said Jack. You've got to be kidding. That's not a fairly stupid tale. That's an incredibly stupid tale. That's an unbelievably stupid tale. That is the most stupid tale ever. Ah! The giant grabbed Jack and dragged him to the next page. And Jack's story is in the next installment.